Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm John, and I'm going to go over a demo of Peat here. So if you haven't heard about Peat, Peat is a customizable software for your real estate investing business, and we're going to run through some high-level things on it, some features, and then also what it's like to take a lead and go through the process. So starting off, here's my dashboard. Dashboards are completely customizable. You can change what's on there, change the formulas, change what's shown, move them around, change the sizes. You can have company dashboards, you can have personal dashboards, because everybody needs to see something different and at different times. You can have as many dashboards as you want. Then we also have smaller dashboards on things like our lead grid. I have this one hidden, it looks like. So here's our leads grid. It's meant to be fast, loads quick. This is where your lead managers and acquisition managers will spend a lot of their time. Now, right here you can see I've got quite a few properties. There's easy ways to make this view simpler. You can come in, you can sort, you can group, you can hide by any of these. Create, only a view that your lead managers can see people who have not been contacted yet, or need a follow-up, or whatever status or condition you want. That way they can filter it down and see what they need. And changing the views is super simple. You just come up here, select view, and you change your views. Okay. But let's go ahead and jump into a property. So what does it look like when you're in a property and going through that process? I'm going to come here to my test property. And right here at the top, we start out, we have the address. If you need to change it, you can come in here and change it. If it's one of those few properties that Google doesn't have, you can go to the map here and drop a pin and get its address that way. For our general information, this is the basic information you fill out really quick. What's the status? What's the temperature? This one's dead. Is it a qualified lead or not? And then the lead campaign. Lead campaign you can manually override. Save. It's nice and easy. Moving over to the right, you can call your sellers, you can text your sellers, you can email your sellers right from here. You don't have to do anything else. I can come right here, click the phone, and it'll call the seller. If I hit little text button, it's going to come up and I can select a template, parse it so I can actually read what the template's going to say. Or if I don't want to do a template, I can come in and I can just free type whatever I want, attach pictures or video if I need to send something, and I can send it to them. Okay. Premise of Peat is keep it simple, keep things moving quickly. Email's not available right now because the seller doesn't have an email address in the system. Pretty simple. You can also save stuff for buyers, contractors, or tenants as well. Just below that, notes. Notice this one has a lot of notes. Trying to find something in notes can be a bitch sometimes. It is a pain in the ass. Well, our notes you can search. So I'll search for my name. Oh, there's 311 with my name in them. Okay. HVAC. Okay, there's only 4. Now I can come in and I can actually read what those notes were, see what the big deal was on them, find what I'm looking for fairly easy without having to sort through a bunch. Same for conversations. I just sent that text. Here it is, it's right there. They text back hello. I can go look at others. If there's a phone call, we can view the transcript. We can listen to the phone call right here, nice and easy. And you can search conversations as well. Talk about easy to find stuff. Appointments, if you have a by appointment, or whether it's an in-home appointment or a virtual appointment or a phone appointment, you can create appointments and track them in here with Peat. Now Peat's going to be smart enough, and this can be customized to your solution, but Peat's smart enough if you say, all right, I'm going to set up an appointment to go by this person's house at the property location or phone or whatnot with the seller, you send it, it's going to actually change this lead status. Because it at that point knows, hey, this is an appointment that's been scheduled. I should be in that status. So saving yourself repetition, saving yourself time. It'll also automatically create tasks to go on the appointment and prepare for the appointment. If your workflow, if your business operates a little bit differently, no problem. We just changed the workflows. It's not a big deal at all. It's super easy. So you can see history of appointments here if you have more than one. Going back to the notes, sometimes there's that really important note that you want to like always be there, seen easily. John is a jack wagon, don't call him before noon. You can pin those. So you can pin as many as you need, and you see them right here at the top anytime you come into this lead, just below the tags. Tags can be used for all kinds of things, like spam. Add them in. Property check problem. Add that in. And KPIs can be set up to show you how many properties have these tags, or what properties have these tags. Basic information about the house. We try to group these to make them easier to use. We've got property insights, financials, etc. Below that, tasks. It's important to keep track of your tasks, right? But you, most of the time, unless you're an operations person, you're not really concerned with what has been completed. You just want to know what you need to do. So by default, we just show what's new or in progress. But if you need to see something that's been completed, you can easily hit the statuses and change that so you can see them. If you need to create a new one, now keep in mind, Pete will try to create tasks for you in its automation system. But if you need to create one manually for some reason, you can select from one of the templates, or you can just put in your own new task. Okay, start date, end date, due date, that's a big one, description. You can add tags to these as well. Sometimes people use those for sorting. And then this is a nice one. So let's say it's a task to follow up with the seller until closing every week. Well, you can put in a recurring task, so it'll have a task every week, or you can just set it up so once this task is completed, I'll go ahead and put it in here. I'm going to change this to new and progress. So once this task is completed, which I can do that by clicking complete, boom, it created that other task that I had set up to be created next. So it makes it very simple. Makes your automation, your repetitions faster, whether you're using VAs or you're a solopreneur. The more time you spend on BS in your system, the less time you are closing deals and buying houses. E-signatures are built right into Pete. You can come in during your implementation. We load those templates in there for you. If they change on down the road, it's no big deal. We load those in for you as well then. But you just come in here, select which sales agreement you have. It's going to load the template. I can tag it so the file that's completed at the end goes over into our badges in our file system. I'll show you that. Like this one would, let's say, purchase. Now, information that we already have in Pete, we go and fill in any other fields. You just type them in here, select who's going to be your signers, and then send to signers. Very, very simple. Once it's sent, you can see if it's, number one, been sent, but then you can see if people have opened the email, and you can see if they've signed, and it goes through a process and makes it nice and easy. When it's completed, it'll show up down here in the whatever badge you selected as. Like here, I've got one. It'll show there. Keep it right at your fingertips, so you're not having to go to different places. Your VA is not having to be trained on different softwares. There's one that can do everything there. Now, estimating rehabs, everybody does it a little bit different. If you're doing it by a small rehab is $30,000, a medium is $50,000, large is $70,000, or if you're doing $20, $35, $40 a square foot, or you're itemizing it out, okay, fine. I'm not going to tell you that you're doing it wrong. You can do any of those, or even combinations of them within Pete. Here in the rehab scope, what you'll see is we have it broken down by sections or categories, but you can expand that and you can have different items within those. These are 100% customizable. So if you want it to just be $10, $20, $30 a square foot, great, you can do that. Not a problem. If you want to be itemized, you can do that too. But then as time goes on, your acquisition person says this is the rehab, then you buy the house and you go to look at it and you're like, somebody kicked in the back door. You can add that in and you can see the evolution of the rehab scope from start to finish. You can have as many of those as you need. Lockboxes, hey, couple trains of thought here. There's plenty of y'all that use the exact same lockbox code at all your properties. I'm not going to shame you. I've always done different codes on my lockboxes, so I ended up with an Excel spreadsheet with you can't even see it here, like that long, because I'd lose lockboxes or I'd forget what the combo was. and end up with a pile of them that just need to be thrown away. It's easy. You can put them in here. You can link them to properties, and it's easy to know what the lockbox code is. Somebody calls, hey, can I get access? Yep, let me look it up. Code is 8604, or for some reason we have 2 on this one, or it could be 2290. Mortgages, you can create some basic, or keep track of some basic mortgage info. Your workflows are your automation, and they're your drip campaigns. So those go together. They're both in workflows. You can always come down, see what the status is, see how far they got. You know, this one is completed, it's done. It ran August 30th, one time. So it's not hidden. You know, when you can easily go in and see what's going on. We don't want it to be a mystery. You know, too often softwares are a mystery. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what happened. And I'm sure I'm the only person that somebody on their team has like changed a ARV or rehab budget or something and forgotten or not realized they did, or just won't admit it, but they don't know what the old value was. Well, guess what? We track all the changes. It's like when I updated that task, I deleted it. So it shows I deleted it. Changed the status there. So we keep track of all those things, and what the old value was and what the new value was. So if they make a mistake, you can get it back and get it fixed. Projects I'll hit on in a minute. Coming over here, everybody's team looks a little bit different, so you can have different roles. Right here you see we have a lead manager, acquisition manager, and authorized signer. In different phases, you have different people do different things, or we do. Those can be changed. Whoever is the default, tasks can be set to apply to the default team role. And you know, when you're in the lead phase, it starts out as your lead manager most likely, and then goes to your acquisitions manager. Once you get into purchase, maybe it goes to a TC. They're the primary person. So we can redirect the flow of tasks and automations and phone calls to go to that primary contact instead of just who they talk to last. You can keep track of external team members like realtor, purchase, or your title companies for purchase and sale and whatnot. Files. Okay. Easy example here. We got a new bookkeeper about 1.5 years ago, and they wanted to see all of our closing docs from the year prior. Seems like a simple task in their mind. Well, we were keeping everything in Drive, and every property had its own folder. It was nice and organized until we had to go find all those closing docs, because there was nothing, aside from going into every folder, there was nothing we could do. We decided to create what we call file badging. You can think of it as tags. It's just a badge, okay? A file can be badged as many times as you need, and it's kind of just a way to look them up, to kind of group them together, but only save the file once. So going with that example of closing docs, I can flag a file as a purchase, I could flag it as a sale, I could flag it as a closing doc. So I have my purchase closing docs I can search for regardless of property, purchase closing docs, sale closing docs, or if I just needed all of them, sale closing docs, and I have a date range, I can filter that. Boom. Less than a minute, I can have all of my closing docs from the last year, download them, send them over to my CPA. Other things that can be used for this is pictures. At different points in the process, different pictures are vital. I shouldn't say vital, not vital, but the ones you want to see. Like if you're a flipper and you've gotten to the end of the rehab, when you come in and you've got view all photos here, most of the time, you don't want to see the original pictures or the pictures of it in process. So what you can do is you can come in, let me show you this. You can select whatever you want. You can select groups. Then you can change the badges. So you can put them in gallery. You can put them in second eyes or shared or chat. We have chat within the project. Received files. If somebody texts you in pictures or videos, you're not having to download them somewhere, then upload them into the CRM. They're right in your conversations, but they're also right here in received files. You can see them just like that. So super easy. You can even share things publicly. If you want to share some pictures with somebody, you can do that, or docs. I don't remember if I actually flagged that one or not, or badged it or not. Guess I didn't. Let's see, what did I miss? I know I'm flying through this. Hey, most entrepreneurs are very fast-paced, so trying to go quick. And if you have any other questions, and I'm not done with the demo, but if you have any questions, if you want to dive into it deeper, feel free to reach out to me, okay? Send me an email, get on the website, schedule some time on my calendar. whatever works best for you. Happy to answer any questions you've got. So this is the lead property details page. If you go into purchase, rehab, sale, sold, rental, it looks basically the same. They're set up the same structure. But let's face it, if it's a rehab, I really don't care what the lead status is, or the lead temperature, or the campaign. So in these other phases, let me just grab a property. This general information changes to what is valid at this time. So this one's waiting on title work. If I wanted to change it, if it needed to be changed to dirty title, boom, save, and I can have an automation take place to email somebody or call somebody that, hey, have dirty title, what do we need to do to fix it? Tasks. I mentioned earlier that lead managers and acquisition managers a lot of times live out of the lead section. They can also live out of the tasks. So a lot of the things in Peak that you can do with it revolve around tasks. That way you ensure that somebody's doing what they're supposed to do. Like with the task after another task is completed, people can come in here, my tasks, hey, green, I have time to work on, yellow, completed, red, if they're overdue. You can come in, you can look at them, go into the property, look at the property, whatever you need to. And if you're the owner, if you're in operations and you need to view other things, you can come to all tasks, it'll load all tasks, and you can view tasks based on the person or the city or the zip code or whatever the case is. You can group by and filter by any of these columns up here, okay? And then you can save views so you only see specific things at certain times. Like here's Bunky's, here's mine, here's new tasks, etc. So keying in, see what you want when you need to see it. Files, boring, I'm not going to show it to you. I already told you about it. Analytics. Analytics, all properties is a larger grid that you can do all kinds of reporting in. We have some pre-built in reports, but it's all your properties, and all those data points that are on that property are right there, so you can sort by them. You can see what your expected revenue is on these projects, or how many rentals do I have that are 3 bedrooms and are in zip code 12345, whatever the case. Okay. Conversations, just a log of all your conversations. Here are some other dashboards, examples of dashboards that I have. See my task, purchase closings by bed and status, how many leads aren't contacted, my conversations. And right here, I can see text messages, I can see call transcriptions. I don't even have to go anywhere. I can just see them right there. Team status. This is kind of cool. You can see if people are logged in, logged out, or if they're on the phone, including if their phone is ringing. So literally if a phone call comes in and it is going to Bunky, he will go red, so I know he's not available at that point. SMS in and out. Now, I will say, I know there's a lot of people who really believe in having their team input KPIs into a spreadsheet for the mental rep and kind of the mental acknowledgement. Nothing wrong with that. This doesn't have to replace that, but things like this, Pete can just give them so they're not spending 5, 10, 15 minutes trying to calculate their tasks or their KPIs at the end of the day. It's ridiculous. You need them making money, not doing BS. So putting them in a spreadsheet, if you do that, that's great. I love it. But at least give them the info easily so they don't spend a lot of time on it. Here's the leads. We can group your campaigns, so based on your lead source type. So like mail, you could have mail that you mailed last month, and you change the postcard or the letter a little bit, and you send it a different one the next month. Those are 2 different campaigns. You can track them individually and granular, but there's times you just say, I just want to know mail versus web, mail versus paper lead, and you can group those together. So that's what I've got here at the top. Then just some examples of being able to see leads by type, by day, by quarter, by hour, leads by hour, 9 days, 90 days. You can change the time frames, whatever you need to. Overdue tasks. Hey, if you want to keep an eye on your team, notice I have a lot of overdue tasks. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff in here, and I end up Uh, I don't know. I just have a lot at the moment. But then you can see other people's overdue tasks. You can see tasks that they have due today, tomorrow, whatever needs to be done. Another example of a nice looking dashboard. You can calculate your ROAS. Property management. This is nice. Your unrealized gross rent. So right now in this company, it looks like there's 9 vacant units. Okay. So that doesn't mean much to people. But then you say, okay, we're losing $7,545 a month because those are vacant. Bam. That can impact somebody. What your occupancy rate is. Now, Pete does not do full-blown property management yet. We plan on adding it, but at this point, it's not in there. This is more of just a overhead or high-level tracking of the rentals. All right, we've covered a lot of things. I'm going to point out real quick up here, your search properties. You can search by property, address, or parts of the address. If you want to look up zip code, you could look up by the seller's name, their email address, their phone number. And the thing that gets me the most is if I want to look up our office here, it's 4700 East Reno. Well, some systems have it spelled East, some have it as E, and it gets really annoying not remembering which it is on some systems. Well, why don't we just cut out the BS and look for 4700 Reno, and then we'll find both no matter what. If I want to look by my name, boom, here's all the properties that I'm in. If I want to look up by email address or whatever you can here. Our project chat, I'll get into the project management module here in a second, but I just want to point out project chat. Each project has its chat. Project members are in there. They can communicate. Think of it kind of like Slack channels. You can send images back and forth. You can edit them, kind of pull it up. You're at a rehab, take a picture, circle something, saying like, hey, what the hell is this right here? Boom, send it to your team. It's there. And it's in those files in the lower right corner of the property detail as well. So it's saved. You can see versions. Super, super helpful on your property management or on your project management. Now in project management, there's people who like Gantz and there's people who don't. I'm going to guess most of you are like, yeah, I don't care about Gantz. So I don't spend a lot of time in here, but I just want to show you can have your projects as detailed or as broad as you would like. Okay, you can have dependencies, you can do all that stuff. If you just want to track simple tasks, you can do that. But we do have the Gantt, so you can go in there that way. We also have crews. So if these are kind of just placeholders. So if you're going to say, okay, I have this crew on this rehab, it's going to take about the next 8 weeks. Where do I want them after that? Well, project planning gives you the ability to assign crews or people to projects. That way you know where they're going to be. You can plan out your contractors. Amy generally has us rough scheduled about 3 months out, so she knows where each crew is going to go after they're completed at their next project. So she's able to say, hey John, we don't need any projects right now because we're going to be booked up. Just go ahead and double close that and wholesale it. Okay, cool. Nice to know. And as things change, we can come in here, move them around, and things move along with it. So keeps everything in sync, keeps everything together. There's some people I know that instead of using these projects always as, I definitely want to leave without saving my changes. We have these broken down into types, but you can also have a general and then just track all your general office tasks in here. There's nothing wrong with that. Get rid of Asana or Wrike or Monday.com or whatever you're using. Keep it all in here. That way your team has one place to look. Only one place to go and see if they have tasks. Project manager will probably live in project management, but your acquisition manager is not going to be in there every day. Okay? They can still see the tasks. Notice right here, I have properties for streets. Over here, I have a project. So they don't have to go looking in different places. They can see it in one place. All right, well, I was trying to do this in 20 minutes. I went a little bit over. I apologize. Hopefully you stayed around with me. There's a whole lot more detail in Pete. I can go in a lot greater detail, show you a lot of things, but quick demo. This is Pete. Pete is awesome. We love Pete. We built him from the ground up. It's not built on Podio or Salesforce or anything else. So we're not dependent on waiting for somebody else to make program updates that are going to break things every month or every quarter. Yeah, hope to talk to you soon. What can Pete do for you?